Hello everyone, today we have a huge budget cube unboxing from TheCubicle, so let's get right into it. Alright, in the box, packaging, and let's see, first up, MF3RS, this is the version 1. Alright, here's the bulk of them. QiYi Warrior W, this isn't even a 3x3. Alright, this is a Little Magic 2x2 from YuXin. I didn't think this was going to be in the box, so I'll do a separate video on this. Alright, this is a GuanLong 2017 version. I'm not sure exactly what the name of that is. This is the RuiLong. This is the ShengShou Gem. This is a YuXin Little Magic 3x3. Here is a QiYi Sail. This is the KungFu LongYuan. LongYuan. This is a YuXin 3x3. I think it is the Kirin. This one also is a GuanLong 2017. I think this one is a regular GuanLong. Alright, so in total here we have 11 budget 3x3s, all within the price range of $4 to $5. So in this video I'm just going to give you my first impressions of all the cubes, and then later I'll do a huge review of all of them and determine which one is the best. So to start off the first impressions, I'll just go ahead and start up here with the Warrior W. This one has frosted plastic. This cube is actually pretty fast and has a sandy, smooth feeling out of the box. I think the sandiness will kind of go away over time after it breaks in, but the speed of the puzzle is actually pretty fast. The corner cutting is pretty good, but nowhere near anything like a modern flagship. So it doesn't really do 45, it doesn't really even do it right here, and the reverse corner cutting is not terrible, but not amazing either. So that's a typical trend among budget cubes. The corner cutting isn't amazing, but the speed is actually pretty good. In general, I actually have heard very good things about this cube, and I know that a lot of people are big fans of it. Alright, let's try the other one. This is the QiYi Sail. Completely destroyed that box. Why is it so hard to open? Jeez. Alright, so right out of the box, it's nowhere near as fast as the Warrior W is, but it also feels like it's really tight. Compared to the Warrior W, it does seem to be a bit looser than this one here, and the turning is pretty slow, but the turning does feel solid, and it's very smooth at the same time. Once again, the corner cutting, at least on these tensions, is pretty pitiful on this cube. I think if you loosen it, it will get a lot better, and I have felt QiYi Sails that are pretty darn good. Out of the box impressions are not the best, but I do believe this cube will be a lot better given some break-in and proper setup. Another thing to keep in mind is that I believe this cube only comes in stickered, so white or black plastic with stickers on it, and the Warrior W only comes in stickerless. So if you prefer stickerless or stickered puzzles, that will definitely play into which one of those two cubes you get. But overall, I was much more impressed with the Warrior W out of the box. Alright, let's look at the original MF3RS. This one isn't stickerless. So the turning is actually pretty controllable out of the box. It has a slight sandy smooth feel, and it's not the fastest, but it does have a good speed, and it's not too slow. The corner cutting is pretty good on this cube out of the box, on these tensions at least. It is slightly tight, but I would probably loosen it a little bit actually. But the reverse is actually pretty good. Forward, it can cut, but it needs some force. But the turning is actually very fluid on this cube. It can seem a tiny bit catchy at some points, but if your turning is very accurate, I could see you really enjoying this cube. So far, this one feels the most similar to a modern speed cube. There have been a version 2 and now version 3 of this puzzle out, but the version 1 was the cheaper one. The out-of-the-box speed is pretty solid. It's not uncontrollably fast, but it's not very slow either. So overall, I'm pretty impressed with the MF3RS. Alright, let's look at the ShengShou Gem. This cube actually has a little bit of plastic wrap around it. This cube is definitely the weirdest one looking out of the box. The frosted plastic has a really weird texture to it. It's kind of hard to see on camera, but you can see it's not flat at all. It's like, it looks bumpy, but it feels like relatively smooth. I guess this was supposed to give it some grip. I don't think that's really necessary, but oh wow. That's actually pretty good. Okay, I'm pretty impressed. I did not expect that much from this cube out of the box. I figured this was just going to be another cheap ShengShou cube, but it's actually pretty fast, and the corner cutting is actually really good. It is a bit too fast for me out of the box. I would probably want to slow it down, but it's very smooth, and it turns really well. As I was saying, the corner cutting in this cube is pretty good. It still can't quite cut 45 degrees. Actually, yeah, it actually can cut 45 degrees, but not much past there. And it does take some force when you're at 45. Yeah, not quite there. Reverse is actually pretty good. Solid. Not the best, but solid. The one thing I will say I don't like about this cube is that it's very loud. So, dang, that is loud. Okay, but it actually turns very nicely and it's super smooth. I'm really impressed with the ShengShou Gem. Here is a YuXin cube. This is the YuXin Little Magic. Okay, so I have tried the YuXin Little Magic before. I know it's a really good cube, but I will say it's probably the best out of all of them I've tried so far. First of all, stick-of-the shades are really good, and the corner cutting on this cube is amazing. It's very fast, but it's still controllable, and the turning is really smooth. So check out the corner cutting. I don't usually check corner cutting on flagship cubes because it's expected to be really good, but that's one thing that a lot of budget cubes lack is corner cutting. Wow, look at that. Past 45 on these tensions. Okay, it is very loose, but I'm still finding it controllable, and it's not like it's gonna pop on me. The only other thing about this one is it's actually very loud, at least without any lube in it. But that's one of the things that I can overlook because the performance of the cube is actually really good. The YuXin Little Magic is actually the cube that my friend Liam uses. He uses the YuXin Little Magic for blind because it's flexible, and it's really, really fast, which is one of the things that a lot of blind solvers look for. So yeah, the flexibility on this cube is actually really good, but it's not uncontrollable once again, so really impressed with the YuXin Little Magic. Let's look at YuXin's other 3x3. This is the Kirin, I believe? That's weird. This is part of the plastic. I can't get that off. Alright, well, aside from that imperfection, let's do some first turns. This cube is actually very reminiscent of the YuXin Little Magic. It's definitely a lot scratchier and sandier out of the box, but the speed is up to par with the Little Magic, the flexibility, the corner cutting as well. So check it out, look at this corner cutting. Easily 45 degrees. Can lock up a bit. And reverse is pretty good, not amazing though. Once again, the tensions on this cube are super loose, but I'm still finding it controllable. This actually feels like a slightly more controllable version of the YuXin Little Magic, and I'm really impressed with this one as well. This cube is also very loud, kind of clacky, but the turning is very smooth, and I'm once again really impressed with this cube. Not sure if I'd pick it over the YuXin Little Magic, but this one is $4, the other one is $5, so it does feel like it might be like a slightly cheaper YuXin Little Magic, but only by a little bit. Alright, let's check out this KungFu LongYuan. This one comes with a stand in it, that's kind of cool. And it comes wrapped in plastic wrap. This is like a premium budget cube right here. Alright, this has some pretty glossy plastic. Most of them that I checked out before were frosted, but this one has glossy plastic, so... Ooh, okay. Very different. So this cube is a bit tighter out of the box than a lot of the other ones, so the flexibility isn't the greatest, and the speed is pretty slow. So I'm sure I could speed it up after a while, but check out the corner cutting. Not very good, especially on these tensions. It can't do 45, and the reverse is not the greatest. If you like quieter cubes though, this one does seem to be a lot quieter than the previous YuXin cubes I checked out. The turning actually has a pretty low pitched noise. So if you like that type of thing, maybe this would be the one to get. But it is very slow out of the box, so if you don't want to put a lot of effort into setting up your cube, this one probably wouldn't be the one for you. And it can luck up a tiny bit sometimes because the corner cutting isn't the greatest on these tensions. I'm not as impressed with this one as I was with the YuXin ones, but this one is still a solid option if you want to go for it. Alright, let's check out this RuiLong. I don't know if you can see it. It looks like there's a bit of yellow coloring mixed into the white plastic there. Kind of looks like a popcorn jelly belly. Either way, let's go on to first turns. This cube is actually fairly similar to the previous KungFu cube, but this one also feels a bit on the heavier side, so if you like a slightly heavier cube, this one does feel a lot heavier than the ones that I've tried out in the past. The corner cutting is once again not that great, but the tensions are fairly tight, so maybe if I loosened it, the corner cutting would become a bit better, but nowhere near 45. This cube kind of feels crunchy when I'm turning it. It's not really papery smooth or sandy smooth like the other ones that I was turning, and the turning of this is also very low pitched like the previous KungFu cube. Overall, not as impressed out of the box, but still a solid option. Okay, so here are 3 GuanLong cubes, but let's just go ahead and start with this one. Okay, whoa. This is actually good. I am surprised. Maybe this is the GuanLong V3. This does not feel anything like the GuanLong that I used to have. This is actually good. Mine was not actually good. It actually looks like it comes lubed. That's nice. The tensions are good. Corner cutting is decent, but it still flows really nicely. It actually feels similar to the QiYi Sail, but a lot nicer out of the box. The turning is pretty light. It's a bit sandy out of the box, but it's very smooth, and it feels like it flows really nicely. Let's compare it to this other GuanLong. This one might be the version 1. First thing I'm noticing is this. Bit rattly. Okay, yeah, okay, never mind. This is the GuanLong V1. This is the bad cube that I remember. This is the cube that I used in my very first competition. I had bought the RuiLong V2 and the GuanLong, so I used the GuanLong. I don't know why I didn't use the RuiLong. I later learned that the RuiLong was a much better cube. But at the time I preferred the GuanLong, and now it's just bad. After having tried this one, I believe it's the GuanLong V3, there is absolutely like no competition here. This thing is just, it's just not good. Just don't get it. If you're getting a GuanLong, you should definitely get this one. Or you could consider this one. This is the GuanLong Plus. This one has squared off corners, a bit slower out of the box. Corner cutting is solid on this cube. It doesn't really flow as nicely as the GuanLong V3. I expected to like this one more because it kind of resembles a modern speed cube a bit more, but it actually ends up being a bit catchier. Compared to this one over here, I believe it's a V3, this one flows so nicely. It might just be because it's lubed out of the box. This one is not, so it's a bit clackier. But it also feels a bit catchier. It might be because of the squared off corners or just the design, but in general, the GuanLong V3 is a lot smoother, quieter, softer. I really like this cube. Alright, so once again, these are all the cubes that we got in today's unboxing. There are 11 budget cubes here, and I will be doing a huge comparison of all of these cubes, and there will be a winner at the end. Which one of them is the best? Once again, all of these cubes are within the price range of $4 to $5, so these are the cheapest cubes you can get. So some of them are actually really good, some of them not so much. So the goal of the comparison video will be to determine which one is the best $4 to $5 cube and which ones you should really steer clear of. These were the cubes that I was most impressed with out of the box. You have the YuXin Little Magic and the YuXin Black Kirin, the MF3RS, the QiYi Warrior W, the ShengShou Gem, and the GuanLong version 3. These were okay out of the box. The KungFu one, the QiYi Sail, and the RuiLong. These were all very slow out of the box, so I wasn't big fans of them, and the tensions were pretty tight, but I'm pretty sure that these cubes will get better. But the out-of-the-box impressions were not that good. These two were on the bottom of my list today. This is the original GuanLong and the GuanLong Plus. I have tried GuanLong Pluses that were decent, but out of the box, I was not a big fan of these cubes, and I would not recommend them over some of the other ones. So that's going to wrap it up for my first impressions on these 11 $4 to $5 budget cubes. I'd like to give a huge thank you to TheCubicle for sending me all of these cubes to test out and compare. So if you'd like to buy any of them, there will be links in the description below to buy each and every one of these cubes. Once again, stay tuned for the comparison video I'm going to be doing in the future, comparing all 11 of these cubes, and there will be a winner, so stay tuned for that. Anyways, that's all I have for this video. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.